What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Vault Hunters here on the Leftovers SMP. We're just walking out of the backside of the factory here on our way over to a brand new section we're going to work on today. And that is tucked away right over here. I felt like this was a really good spot for this new project to be tucked away. Eventually, we're going to tie in, multiple different buildings and get everything nice and organized over in this area. But for now, this is a great place to start. And I've been working on this just a little bit between episodes here to get things rolling. I actually do want to start out by kind of opening part of this up, I think, here. Do we do 2 windows or do we do 1 window? Let's see. As you can see in here, we have got the spawner set up in here. Is it even in the middle? Where's the middle of this? Middle is there. Why is this so awkward? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe we do something like this for now. And I think, is this? Yeah, centered. Okay. It's all kind of goofy. We got some things in the inventory here to dive in and get started a little bit. I made up some of this vibrant quartz glass because I figured this would make like a really nice window in here and it would be bright. Oh yeah, and it even glows a little bit. Oh, and it's clear in the middle. Perfect. Alrighty, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by some technical difficulties on my audio equipment. We are working on this here spawner deal, and this thing is going to be great to get us started with a bunch more resources. I've started prepping this, but we got a little bit of work to do here yet in getting things all set up and functional. Now, I think this is going to be fairly straightforward with all of the stuff I have in my inventory. And this is why we wanted to build the warehouse ahead of time, because if we start actually using this thing on a regular basis, we're going to get all kinds of different mobs and drops and things going into the system, and we need obviously places to put them if we're going to collect them all. So the main idea here is, let's start out with this piston. Perhaps if this works the way I think it's going to, we should be able to plop that in the ceiling, and then we should be able to put a redstone block up there. And then I can put this on redstone mode so that when that's activated, that should activate the spawner. Now, we're not going to put an egg in there yet because otherwise we'll end up with terrible disasters, but we're going to go up top here. And since all my buildings have these nice flat roofs on them, this is actually hopefully going to work out really smooth for us. So I'm thinking we start with, okay, just the regular old toggle flip-flop there. I don't even have to power the other part of that like I thought. So yeah, if that goes down, that should activate. So if that is lit up, the farm is essentially on. I might want to add some lights to this again like I did in the last season. If you didn't see the boathouse mob spawner build that we did, this is going to be somewhat similar. And in the same way that I want to put some fail safes in here for this. So how does this work? I want to put a daylight sensor maybe like that for now. Or do we want to put it on the side? Does this have to go this way maybe? In order for, well, actually, can I just do something like this? No, okay. So it does need to go at least one over. If we power that, that doesn't do anything to that. So that needs to power, I thought that would switch it. I guess that just would lock it. I don't remember. So if we want this to be daytime, so maybe I got the wrong thing for this here. What did we put in there? I thought I put in a toggle. Yeah, toggle latch. I think I might want the, oh, what's the other one called? The, like the T flip-flop deal. What's it called? It's a create thing, I want to say. Or is it also just a toggle? No, what's the other one called? Brain not working properly. The powered latch, that's what this thing's called. I think this is going to do the job here. If we hit that on that side and then hit this from this side. So we do a little one of those and then a little one of these perhaps from here. Like so. And then we need some kind of thing on here. Let's go maybe like, oh, hello? No, that is that not? What do we put on there? Do I have something? Vault cobble on the blue. And then we put a brick on the other one, maybe? I don't know. I'm just coming up with some random sequence of stuff here that hopefully no one else replicates. This one should probably be the receiver. Receiver. How does this work? Receiver? It's because I have a thing in my phone. There we go. It's weird I couldn't see it. Yeah, so that's the receiver. That's that. If that is, I think we need this to be maybe a pulse when it becomes nighttime. Do I have any of those pulse deals? How do I want this to go? I want this to be an automatic turn off if it cycles through the daytime. So maybe I want it to get a little further away. I think that's why I had this in the past where this, if it cycles to like full daylight, because that should be not a full strength. Or do we want it to be, yeah, because it won't always necessarily go full nighttime unless somebody sleeps. So if it goes to like high powered daytime, we pulse that. I suppose I gotta grab one of those pulse deals. Yeah, so if we apply this guy in with a, it doesn't really matter if this is a 2-tick, we'll just put it like a 10-tick pulse repeater. So now if this cycles through daytime, so let's just say, can I not turn that on manually? What is happening here? Really can't turn that on by hand? Do we need... I should be able to toggle that. Should I not? Am I confused? No, I can. But not because of that. Okay, because that was constantly powered. Okay, so if this is powered on right now, right? This is working. Ow, my face. And then, now that it's getting dark, we should actually be able to test this. So if this was getting dark, yes, it was running all day. And then we go ahead and get out our sleeping bag and do a little sleep. Once it gets nighttime, up on the roof here, see if I can set this to nighttime again. Everyone's going to be confused because the time's going to be cycling a bunch. If this goes to nighttime and we fly back over to here, and this is on, if I sleep now, that should turn off, turn back on, and then this should pulse that, which should flip that off. After 10 ticks. I don't know why this is not sending a signal to that. I don't think this is turning off enough. What if I just get another pulse extender? I think my problem is that when it becomes nighttime, when you sleep, it happens so quickly that this is not able to... It's not able to keep up. So now if this was on, this should give that a delay when that turns off. If I sleep, we can hopefully see it happen in real time. That gives a delay, that clicks that turns that off. Okay. Cool. That should work then. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a delay. If we activate this now, that turns that on. So all we need to do on the other side is flip that on. Dude, everyone's joining on today. Heck yeah. Sweet. So that should work for this part of it, the functional part. We just need an on button somewhere for that, which we'll work on a little bit later. However, the part I want to work on here is the collection part, and I think I want this all to come to the front this time. somewhere around here. And I do have a bunch of stuff for this. So I think this time I'm going to try to use the vacuumulator here. Should suck up all the stuff. Yeah. And then we put player damage plate on top. And then all we have to do is use these vector plates to shoot everything into the center here. And zoom. Whoa, okay, yeah. That might be a problem that we have these going too fast. Because there might be mobs bouncing like back and forth like this until they get to the middle. We'll see if that's going to be a problem or not, I suppose. But we can put some more of these down. I'll face actually a bunch of these towards the middle, and then this one here we'll just have a nice long line from the back that'll shoot all these guys forward. Actually, maybe replace this one with this direction, and everything should be zooming towards the front here. And like so. And we'll get everything going towards the front middle of this thing. And that should make for a nice little collection spot. Then we just figure out a few additional things here on the side. Just enough blocks. Get some more of this glass put in over there, over here. Like so. That would cover all that up. And then maybe down here for now, we just open this up so I can get to this thing. Get some dirt going in there. So that should suck all the stuff up there. And then from that vacuumulator, I want to be able to suck items off that. So I guess we're going to have to dig down into here a little bit anyway. And I don't know where this is exactly going to hit up with the other parts of what we got going on. Let's actually get out the hammer here. Why not? We got enough room here. I think we can dig ourselves a convenient little tunnel to free this space up a little bit. That should work there. Do this, do that, do this. Of course, we got all kinds of gravel left over. And can we put down a block to fix this? Looks like we can actually run right into this other tunnel here. If we're at the right height. Nice. Not bad. I couldn't have planned that much better if I had tried it all myself. So I think what we want to do here is we want to tie this into our new storage system. This is the storage system we worked on last episode, and none of this is fully operational yet, but this will give us a good place to start with a nice volume of resources. So I'm going to try to run this cable all the way back over to our new area here with this mob farm. And then I want to be able to sort out the junk that we don't want. So part of this storage system for all the mobs and whatnot, some of these mobs are going to give us like damaged swords and, you know, things that we don't really care for. However, we should be able to filter those out pretty easily here, hopefully with a nice little setup that I've got. I'm hoping. Get a couple more cables in. So then right in here, I think we want to do is do a little something like that. And then I have this nullifier, which you can put up here. And this has a filter in it and an allow list, so I can filter what I want to nullify from this. All right, as we're continuing on the production here, I'm realizing that I can't actually import any of those items into my system until we get the the AE system up and powered. So we need to actually get this power tower doing some work in there. And what I would like to do for this, I think, is a similar system to we have over here. I did make this little energy cell with the netherite generator here. So we're generating 256 FE per tick, which is not too bad out of some free coal, basically, with this little production here. I wanted to try to see if I could swap this over to, what is it? If we can farm logs with this thing here, the phytogenic insulator, I think we might try this out to see if this would give us enough. It is going to use power, but if it gives us enough output, it might be a good way to run that back in. I don't know, 60,000 RF for 6 logs, which would be 6 charcoal. We'll give it a try perhaps, but we do need to unlock another mod in order to make that happen, which means we need a phytogenic insulator, and I need 4 more knowledge stars to make that happen. So I am trying to cook up a little crystal here with some living catalyst and a mushroom room. See if this would give me what I need to get the rest of those in there. Can we also maybe throw a seal of the scout on here just to make it easier to get this vault completed? And we'll jump in here and see if we can't get what we need to unlock that mod and try to make some power. There we go. Nice little living vault done there. Got our completion crate. Pop that open. Ooh, nice mango. We could definitely use some more fruit. That'll be nice. I got a bunch of random crap in here for some reason. Get rid of all this good stuff. Pop that in there. Pop this in there. And the big part here is all the knowledge we got. So hopefully, if we throw this all in here, we should get enough knowledge to, I got the 3-star. I think I need 4 stars though, right? Is that what we're saying? I think so. Can I make all 4? Bam. We can with leftovers. Holy cow. Nice. We got lots of extra of that now, so we can consume this up, and then we can go ahead and unlock the phytogenic insulator. Doesn't give me a transmog, surprisingly. But this would be a very useful tool. Holy cow, that's expensive. Okay, we might need to work on that a little bit because I don't think I have enough echo for this because I just used all the echo I had on the inscription for that. So we might have to try to run another something special here, see if we can barter with some of the guys for a couple echo gems. I'm sure we could probably work out a deal with somebody, right, to get those. Try to get that. I need one more. Am I out of chromatic iron again? Try to get this crafted up here and see what else we need to make this bad boy happen here. All right, getting back into the power cell area over here, the power, whatever we're calling this thing. I don't know, the power tube. We got to try to make some power to get the storage system up and going here. And I think I've got most of what I need to make that happen. So we are going to run this power cell. We might need a couple of these actually, but I was thinking if we can get up there, what are the chances we could actually just build like a platform up there somehow? Can I? Can I get up on top of there? I think I want this to be kind of like up and out of the way in the top part of this. Let's see. Can I get these ladders here? Put them up maybe over here. Something like this. I think if we stick a ladder there. Nope. I want it to come down this way. There we go. Because these we shouldn't need to support from the back. There we go. We can go all the way down with that to the bottom. And if we come up to here, I was thinking, whoop, we're thinking we fall down. I need to get out. What do we have here? These iron grates, I think, would be a great thing to use right around here. Maybe we make a little floor with these guys. Oops, around the middle section here. These are kind of hard to place. Nope, nope. We want there, like this. And we go all the way across. Nope, I keep going the wrong spots. Get a little, geez, holy cow. Something like this. Get these going all the way around the edges. Like so. No. It's such like a small little spot on the side of there. It's hard to get them in the right spot. Looks like we're actually gonna need a lot more than just that, but this gives us a little bit of a space to work around up here. So then I think we get one of these guys going. Little something something. What's the best way to do this? Will that prevent water from flowing out the side? If I just do something like this. I don't know if I waterlog that. Is that going to flow through? No, it's not. Cool. So we do that. Get one of these in here. I think that is going to require water on the other side of there as well. And then from there, we can pump water into this thing, which is still going to be kind of goofy the way this seems to be set up, perhaps. So we got the photogenic insulator I want to put up there. That's going to create the saplings for us. I might want to separate these then so that, well, what is that going to produce for us is the question. So we'd come from here and go water into this. So we'd input into the back with that. And then I was thinking we'd output into the furnace, but that might not exactly work because there's going to be multiple items coming out of there. So maybe that has to get moved a little bit as well. This is going to be goofy. I might actually move this to the back here. We'll take that out. Put this here. And then this could actually go on top of there. And output downward. We just need to power that. So maybe this needs to get powered as well. Trying to think of how to do this without having to run too many different cells. We want to input that off the top. We're going to extract off everywhere else, basically. So then from there, we can, I guess we could power. Let me figure out how I'm going to lay this all out. And then I guess we'll kind of go from there because it is a little bit of a more complicated layout than I was expecting here. Okay, so this simple system should be up and running now. I mean, it doesn't look the greatest, but that's kind of why I tucked it away up in the top part here, just because a little bit of the coordination here's... I think we can actually improve this a little bit, because I could put the redstone furnace right next to the insulator here if we get the augment that allows us to recycle the inputs. We got to put the saplings back into here. So that's what this loop is doing. Then it's taking the logs out into the redstone furnace, smelting those into charcoal, and that's filling up here. It looks like everything's keeping up fine. So currently we're getting the 256 output, and that is increasing the capacity on our bulk storage here. So that is good at the moment. Obviously, we're not using any power off this. So once we connect it up to the storage system there, we'll see how well that's doing. But as long as the production of this can keep up, we can add additional generators to this to increase that capacity as well. Or potentially look at, getting some different types of generators or dynamos or something like that in the future. If we need to increase the log production, we can add more of these as well. So we should be able to scale this system here, I think, to make this work for us, at least to run our storage system down below. So now all we have to do is get a little power output from here down to the bottom there. And I'm not sure I have quite enough cables to reach all the way down there yet. But can we get... Where the heck did that go to? That was not exactly where I wanted that to go. Can I get onto there? And then, I don't know, probably run along the back here and down the side. Whoop, to see if we can't get power all the way down to this section here. Now I feel like I should switch that whole thing to this side so that the power comes down into this thing. I guess we could always just wrap this around the backside of here. It doesn't have to be super fancy because it is going to be our little kind of industrial setup here. So that should go into the energy acceptor. And we got bulk storage on the system here for this energy cell. Just got to get some more cables, and we should be able to get this system up and running. That allows us to actually import into the warehouse. Just like that, it's got the balls sucked into the system here. So now if we actually go over to the new mob farm area here, I think I was working on collecting up another type of thing over here because we needed, what was it, zombie flesh for the thingamajig. So we ended up getting chicken, potatoes, carrots, iron, and feathers, all from just having the zombie spawner turned on. We had a little issue with some of the little baby zombies, but if we turn this thing on again, we should start to see, hopefully it's not terribly loud, we get a little bit of these items now. And the nice part about this little filter system here, this will filter out all of the gear, which I don't know if these are going to be big enough. We might need to do, we might be able to add more of those. We should have to try that, see if we can add more filters to that. But everything that comes in here, so if we get like something like this, boots, we can just put it into the filter here. That will nullify those if we throw them back out to here. I don't know, actually the accumulator probably won't pick them up from down there, but anything that's left in here then just needs to have a place in the storage system. So iron and rotten flesh. So if we run over to the warehouse as that is operating, we should be able to go down this way. This is all a little bit goofy as it's currently set up, but we'll start to put mob drops in the aisle all the way down at the end here for the storage. So we got the flesh, or the zombie balls. What am I talking about? We got the slime balls there. We got the rotten flesh there. And you can see the number is now increasing. And then we can put in these other items here as well. So we're getting carrots. We're getting raw chicken apparently every so often from those guys. We're getting potatoes. We're getting a little bit of iron, which is nice. We're getting some feathers, which is super random. And now the biggest thing I need to do with this whole system to make sure this doesn't cause any issues is we need to make void upgrades for every single one of these drawers in the warehouse and make sure that we're not going to overflow on any items at any point in time. And then, yeah, we might actually have to look at doing some bulk storage in these areas over here. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet, but maybe try the item vaults from Crate or some sort of additional storage of sorts. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to make that happen, but this is up and running now. We're getting items from this system over here, and things are mostly operational. Looks like we do have an issue with the baby zombies over here. I think the problem is I need to get a way to manage the XP, and I'm not sure if there's a good way to do that other than modular routers. So looks like we might have to unlock some additional mods in the next episode, but unfortunately that is all I have time for today on this one. We got to get this thing wrapped up here, and hopefully you'll join me again real soon.